Fucking with Trey.
Get that paper, told that Glock, that's how we live. Yeah, my life's a gamble, I pray I don't get killed. They can't believe I got the guap, this shit for real. Can't accept the fact my brother gone, I wanna kill. Yeah, I can't go for that shit don't sit right. Instead of cabin to the old nigga, I know what you live like. Ain't worried about all, just fuck these hoes and live life. I go on the drill, I'm smart enough, you gotta know how to kill.
Shohei Barou was a prodigy from the moment that he could walk. A relentless storm of muscle, instinct, and pure domination. He won his first youth tournament at the age of 10, a hat trick in the finals. Crowned the Little King of Aki. Cameras flashed, coaches applauded, and Barou lifted the trophy like a monarch claiming his throne. Watching from the sidelines, his younger brother, Isagi, smaller, quieter, less physically imposing, but with eyes that followed every moment of Barou. That day had changed him. "Nichan, you're amazing." Barou grinned, ruffling his hair. "Of course I am. I'm gonna rule Japan one day. You'll be there to see it, supporting me, won't you?" Isagi nodded with a smile so bright, it almost cracked his cheeks. From that moment on, he trained every day, not to surpass Barou, but to stand beside him, to be the perfect support, the perfect little brother. Together, they became known around the neighborhood as a duo. Barou, the unstoppable lion, and Isagi, the loyal wolf by his side. But perfection? No. Perfection never lasts. When Isagi was 12, the foundation of their family began to crack completely. Their father's affair detonated the home inside. Papers were signed, voices were raised, and tears were spilled. In the end, custody had split them up like a broken trophy. Barou decided to stay with their father in the big house, the stable environment, in the path of football glory. Isagi left with their mother to a cramped apartment, part-time jobs, and the lights and electricity sometimes flickered in and out. Before they had left, Barou looked at him. "Yoichi, come with us." Isagi then looked back to his mother as her voice began to tremble. Walking back towards her, he had turned to his brother just to say one thing, but Barou had looked away, seeing that his younger brother's decision had already been made. "Sorry, I can't leave Dad. He'll invest into my training. I need to become the king. You understand that, don't you? This is much bigger than just choosing sides." It was logical. His reasoning. It was rational. And it shattered Isagi's heart. Yeah, I get it. But inside, something that day, it died. Isagi stopped seeing Barou as the king, and then started seeing him as a goal that lied in front of him. Life with his mother, it was harsh. Money ran thin, and opportunities were scarce. But for Isagi, every disadvantage was fuel. He ran before sunrise. He practiced until his legs trembled. He shot goals at rusted nets, flickering under the streetlights. "I'll become better, stronger, sharper. I don't need anyone's throne. I'll build my own." He even changed position from midfielder to striker. "How do I surpass a lion?" he muttered to himself during one of those lonely training nights. "I hunt him. I become a predator myself." His arms would soon grow lean and defined, his legs thick with explosive power, his once gentle eyes sharpened with cold calculation. By the time middle school had arrived, Isagi wasn't the same shadow that followed Barou. He was a storm, waiting to break. Barou became the ace of Ryuke Middle School, crushing perfectual defenders with monstrous strength and precision. Isagi, though, joined Seto Middle School, a no-name school with no budget No real coach, no expectations. Perfect. Expectations only create ceilings, and Isagi wasn't planning on stopping. His goal: defeat Barou at the junior high innovational tournament. When the bracket was announced, Isagi felt electricity run through him. Seto versus Ryuke in the quarterfinals. Nichan, this time, I won't be cheering for you. I'm coming to break you down. Soon, match day arrived. The stadium, it was small, but it roared. Barou stood tall, muscles carved like stone, a black aura radiating around him. Looking across the field, he soon saw his younger brother, finally walking towards him. Yoichi, don't embarrass me. Barou smirked. You're still my weak little brother, right? Isagi didn't reply. He didn't need to. He'd let his skills do that for him. The whistle blew. Ryuke dominated instantly. Long passes to an aggressive tempo as they fed Barou constantly. At the 14-minute mark, he bulldozed through 2 defenders and blasted a shot into the top corner. 1-0. He pointed at Isagi. You can't stop me. Remember your place. It'll always be below me. Isagi felt something inside him, twisting. Anger, yes, but also something different. Something you wouldn't expect. Clarity. The field began to slow down. Fragments of movements turned into patterns. This is beatable. It's predictable. Almost calculable. In the 28th minute, Seto stole the ball. Isagi sprinted forward. Seeing the defenders on Barou's team shifting, he looks ahead. He sees the keeper. His weight is leaning, as if he's trying to predict the shot already. He sees passing lanes. They formed before they even existed. What is this? He then yells out, "Pass it now!" His teammates, obeying without even thinking. Isagi slips behind 2 defenders, slicing through the field like a blade. 1 touch, then a step left, then boom. The net rippled. A shot, a declaration of war. 1-1. Barou's eyes widened. You bastard. The game continues, and even after the halftime marker, at 26 minutes, Barou struck again. A brutal solo goal. A near post-cannon shot, making the score 2-1. But Isagi didn't break. Instead, his vision, it began to sharpen more. Every movement had purpose. Every player was a variable on the pitch. Every second was a calculation. It wasn't instinct. It wasn't luck. It was something much more, barreling from deep inside Isagi. It was ego. Pure, overwhelming ego. I see it for myself. This formula for goals. The path to devour you, Nichan. It's here. At the 75th minute, a long ball from the midfield. Isagi calculated 4 defenders' paths instantly. He cut inside, looked around, then faked the shot, spun once again, and struck with his left foot. A wondrous goal that got the crowd electric. 2-2. Barou snarled. Yoichi, your strength, it's beginning to piss me off. And here, as the game was ending, in the 89th minute, Barou charged through the center, unstoppable, ego himself blazing. He smashed the final goal, 3-2. Ryuke wins. Barou walked past him, victorious. This is the difference between a king and a stray dog, so know your place. But Isagi, here, he wasn't crying. He wasn't angry. He was smiling. A terrifying, confident smile. Thanks, Nichan. Now, I know exactly what I must become. Not your shadow, not your support, and not even your subject. His eyes began to glow with hunger. I'll become the one who devours the field, the one who calculates victory, the one who can destroy kings. And from that day on, a monster named Yoichi Isagi was truly born. By the time that Isagi had entered high school, his body had already transformed from years of grinding alone, had carved him into something frightening. Lean muscle, explosive acceleration, and eyes that analyze everything with cold, mathematical precision. Ichidan High wasn't known for football excellence, but the atmosphere, it suited him quite well. Quiet, overlooked, and hungry for someone to lead them. Trials were supposed to be 2 hours long, but for Isagi, they only lasted him 30 minutes. The players had formed 2 squads. Coaches sat down, watching lazily, expecting another year of mediocrity. Then, Isagi touched the ball. Tap. A gentle receive from another player. He touches it again with another tap, with a shift of weight. Then, flash. He bursted forward, outrunning 3 defenders in a blur. The coaches would sit up. What the? Who the heck is that kid? And what's that speed? Isagi didn't hear anything. His brain was already moving. The keeper's stance was wide. His right foot was planted, but it seemed that he was leaning more towards the left. Left corner. 60% chance. Top right corner. 75. He looked at the top right. It'll be a cleaner shot. He curved the ball with his foot. Bang! Top right. Upper 90. The net snapped like it was punched. Later down the line, another goal was scored by him. In 10 minutes, he had already scored 3 goals. Dribbling that made defenders dizzy. Feints so fluid, they looked like dancing. And finishing that cracked the air with power. One coach had muttered to himself, "This kid, he's played like he's been possessed." Another whispered back to him, "No, not possessed. It's almost mastery." At the end, the coach approached him. "Yoichi Isagi, right?" "Yes, sir." "Good. You've made the team. And we'll already be naming you a starter, effective immediately." There was no celebration from Isagi, just a quiet nod. Understood. Ichidan's season started off rocky only because his players were adjusting to the whirlwind that was Yoichi Isagi. He moved differently from everyone else. He studied games at night, like Messi, Prime Ronaldo, Henry. But no, Messi fascinated him. The way he glided, the way he broke ankles without effort, the way defenders feared his presence alone. Isagi, his coach had asked him one day while he sat and thought, "Who inspires your style?" Isagi didn't even look away or flinch. Messi. He plays like he's painting a field. Like each touch is a brushstroke of brilliance. That's the football. That's the football that I want to create. And he did just that. We'd flash to a game versus Minami Saida High School. And 20 minutes in, they're already down 0-1. Isagi. His teammate would pass the ball nervously. "Yoichi, do something." He exhaled. Pressure, spacing, defender weight distribution, and angles. All of this ran through his mind. Then he moved. A roulette spin around one, a nutmeg through the next defender, and then a sudden burst of speed to get to his position. Defenders yelling. No way he got through. The keeper rushed him, but Isagi didn't slow down. He's leaning left. So, he fakes a shot. The keeper dives. Fool. Isagi then drags back and chips it right over his head. 1-1 as the goal rolled into the net. The stadium roared. That was an electric goal, something solo, something that hadn't been seen before. But Isagi, he only whispered next, and 2 minutes later, he had scored again, curling a strike from outside the box. Then, later on, he scored a third, soloing 5 defenders, as Ichinan won 3-1. His teammates celebrated like they had won a World Cup or something like that. Isagi simply tied the knot in his boots tighter. "Why don't you ever smile?" the assistant coach asked. Isagi stared at the sky, expression cold. "I'm not done. Not until I surpass him. Not until my mother never struggles again." By mid-season, Ichinan shocked the region by qualifying for the national bracket. At a team meeting, the coach cleared his throat. "We need a new captain." And everyone already knew who it was meant to be. "Yoichi Isagi," the coach declared. "Lead us." Isagi blinked. "Me?" The coach had nodded, and so did the rest of the players. "You don't scream, you don't boast, but everyone follows your footsteps anyway. You're our spear." Isagi didn't smile. He only bowed his head. "I accept." This would begin their road to nationals. Isagi began to cement himself as a talent like no other. In a game against North Chiba High, Isagi executed a turn so quick it looked like he teleported to the defenders as they stumbled into each other. Did he just disappear? A shot rang out through their ears into a goal. Against Kanagawa Tech, Ichinan was cornered. Isagi intercepted a cross and sprinted the entire field, beating 4 defenders before scoring with a left-footed rocket. His teammates would look at him. "How did you do this?" Isagi would only look back. "If I don't score, we lose. And to me, losing isn't an option. Not again." Against Shirahorme High, Isagi's assist, a no-look heel flick through 2 defenders, became a district highlight. The announcers would ring out, "Yoichi Isagi, he's playing poetry." But to Isagi, this was all nothing. Soon time had passed, and the national championship was here. Ichinan High versus Masukage Kukukoa. The final match was played under bright winter lights. The stadium thundered with chants. Kukoa, Ichinan, commentators buzzed, saying that Masukage Kukoa is heavily favored in this match, but Ichinan's run may end here. But when Isagi stepped onto the field, the atmosphere, it shifted. His eyes were calm, cold, focused like no other. "Let's finish this. We didn't come all this way for nothing." 10 minutes into the game, Isagi received the ball at the edge of the box. 3 defenders closed in. His foot moved once, then twice. He pops it over, chipping it over their heads. The keeper had barely reacted, looking forward, but it was too late. The goal would already be running into the top corner. 1-0. The announcers then stand up out of their seats. Yoichi Isagi opens the final with pure art. His teammates began to roar. But Isagi was still focused. This game? No. He needed to make this a declaration because he knew someone was watching. Kukoa soon equalized. Isagi began to retaliate immediately. He sprinted through the center, his body tilting with predatory grace. A step over, then an elastico, next a feint. The announcers couldn't believe their eyes. He's through them all. He then blasted the ball with such precision that it curved around the keeper's fingertips into the top corner. Soon, another goal was scored to tie the game. Isagi stared at the ground, breathing slow. They pressed, left when panicked. The keeper, he favors low saves. And defender, number 5, has a late reaction to switches. He took the next possession. A single feint sent a defender sprawling. Then a low drive had followed. 3-2. Yoichi Isagi is not human, the commentators will begin to shout out. Final minutes of this game. Tension suffocated the stadium. Isagi received the ball in midfield, then accelerated. The world around him blurred. His teammates watched in awe as he danced through the defensive line, cutting, spinning, and weaving through an impossible control. He reached the box. Time truly began to slow down here for him. Top right, 89%. This shot, it ends it. He struck. Boom. Net explosion. 4-2. Ichinan High were national champions. The cameras began to swarm him. Isagi-san, how does it feel to be Japan's high school hero? What was going through your mind during that 4th goal? Do you see yourself going pro? Isagi looked at all of them, expression empty. I'm grateful, but I'm not satisfied. This isn't my end. It only marks the beginning. A reporter then asked, what drives you to that mindset? Isagi's eyes hardened. A promise. A future. Someone I have to support, and someone that I must surpass. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Japan, in a dimly lit training facility across the country, Barou crushed the ball into a net with monstrous force. Again, he barked. His teammate then pointed at a TV. Barou, isn't that your brother? Barou turned, sweat dripping from his face, and on the screen, Isagi lifted the championship trophy. Calm, sharp eyes, unmoved. Baru's jaw tightened. So you already made it this far, Yoichi. He smirked. Dark, proud, yet competitive. Don't get cocky. A king's throne isn't so easy to reach. Isagi returned home late that night. His mother would fall asleep quickly, but he had noticed there were envelopes on the table. Just one, marked, from the Football Union of Japan. He opened it, and inside, Isagi exhaled slowly. His heart pounded once. Then, he smiled. So, this is what lies ahead next. I wonder if you'll be there too, Nichan. The path to becoming the world's greatest striker will begin now. And I won't lose to you this time.